and that's the reason why. It's the same reason we put a board behind that right there to support the shelf. We know there's a stud up behind this at 2 foot because we put them on 12 foot. There she is. So we can screw that into there. The glue's on it already. I will put a straight edge on this, make sure she's square, and screw that down to the tabletop. You won't see that. The screws won't go through to the bottom. However, there will be a divider wall down here as well, so we'll have that. This wall here, haven't decided what we're going to do on cabinets inside. If I'm going to cut my own doors out of the wall we put up there, or if I'm just going to make cubbies. I don't know, with oval holes openings. We'll see how that goes. See which one looks better when I lay it out on the drawing table over there. She must be pretty square, guys, and pretty level. Each one of those on top and bottom are 57, and each one on the side are 25. So they matched up pretty well. Again, guys, if you're not comfortable running a long run like that, freehand, put a straight edge on it. You could also use a belt sander afterwards, run it down your length, straighten it up a little bit, or use your router with a guide. And when the guide will keep you straight. This one's not pretty good. Just knocking some burrs off that edge. We're gonna mark it out for some speaker holes and electrical outlets, and we'll stain her up. Alright, let's get this back wall laid out. There's really no right or wrong way to do this, gang. Do it to your preference. Install what you want in here. I'm putting 2 speakers and a 120 electrical outlet with USBs. Everything's black accented to match the gray and the dark wood. You could cut this section out and do a pass-through into the galley if you want. We're going to cut a couple ovals here and just make cubbies on each side. Those will back up to the galley. I may make one straight through, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to leave the center open for like a TV or computer mount if somebody wants to mount it there, since this one is for sale. I'm going to leave it kind of plain Jane and not get too fancy with it, and kind of let the owner, whoever buys it, detail it out the way they want. I'm going to use a gasket that came with the speaker to as a template. Cut out our round hole for that guy. Now you could use a hole saw. Or saber saw, whatever you're comfortable with. We went 3 inches from the wall just to give us some room. And 3 inches from the ceiling as well. your eyes happy by making them both straight, both level with each other. And that's all we're going to do on this wall. Drill me a couple starter holes. This is just 1/2 inch, guys. The shelf going across the bottom was 3/4. It's a little stronger than this to hold up all the support. This can be thinner. It's not going to support a lot, but 1/2 inch will still support a TV if you want to mount a TV there. Test fitting. Now I'm going to take it all apart, hand sand this. All right. I knocked that down with some 320. Hand sanded it straight along with the grain to kind of keep some of the pattern nice and not put any swirl marks in it, like a DA or an orbital sander would have done. I did round these corners a little bit. Keep in mind we do have GIMP molding in there, so I don't know if I'm going to put GIMP molding around this or not. This is kind of an important wall, guys. It's one of the 3 structure walls that keep your camper square. That's why it's important for these to be 90s. You know, you got your front wall, you got this wall, and then you got your rear wall. And that's pretty much what determines how square your camper is. Let's get this thing up in there and do a test fit real quick, see if I have to do any adjustments before we stain it. How this is going to work, guys. It's just me, and holding a camper takes one of my hands away, so you know the routine. You've seen it before. Well, looks like it's snowing in here, doesn't it? That's my shop fan pulling out all the sawdust. Probably a good argument to why you should wear a mask while you're sanding, huh? That's funny. Well, it's Christmas time. I guess we can have some snow. Let's get this up in place. Sorry, I know this camera work's going to be ugly right now. But I'll put one end in, that end up in where it belongs. And then we will push this end in. Alright, so far she's a pretty tight fit. Pretty square. Back where it goes. Oh yeah. Nice. I'm very happy with the fit right there. Look at that. I probably could have put GIMP molding around there, but it did go in pretty tight. And it's pretty square. I'm really happy with how square this one turned out. Yeah, so we're going to pull it back out, glue it in, pull it back out, stain it, go ahead and put the fixtures in it, and glue her in. Enjoy the blizzard. That really looks good. That's tight fit. And welcome to the blizzard of 2023. Oh yeah. You can see a little bit of the grays coming through in that piece, huh? Let's get her up in there and see how she looks. She's in. You can see it's still snowing in here. No accumulation yet, but still snowing. Yep, that bulkhead wall looks really good. Matches the rest of the wood nice. Real dark. Got some gray highlights. Once puck lights are on and everything, it'll be lighter in here, but I'll be able to sleep nice and tight in this baby. That's a good fit. Hey gang, just wanted to touch base, show you that wall one more time with some light on it. She squared up really nice. Now don't sweat it if your wall does not come in that. Hey gang, welcome back. We are going to discuss putting a couple cabinets in back here. I'm going to assemble them with using the same furring strips we did here, and then just 1/2 inch on each wall on the front side and the shelf inside. You know as well as I do, back here is just like anything else on a DIY camper. It's totally what's going to be useful for you. I'm going to sell this one, so we're going to keep it generic and basic. We're going to let the new owner decide if he wants to do exotic doors or anything intricate back here. I'm going to leave the center open for a microwave, coffee pot, something tall, whatever you want to put in here. Your cabinets will be maybe 13 by 13 or so. Come out to about here. That'll leave you some storage area on both sides and in front of them as well. We will put a backer wall up against this with insulation in it. We'll run our speaker wires through there, of course, but we'll have all of our connections, just like we did in the roof, right at our outlets and right at our units that go through the wall. There won't be any connection here in the middle hidden that could come apart. I do use those solder type heat shrink connectors. They have a ring of solder inside, and you heat them after you push your 2 wires together, and it bands the 2 wires, melts the solder into the connector, and then it also heat shrinks them. That seems to be a very solid way to go on these. Of course, we'll have our USB and our switch for our puck lights back here. This cabinet here, I'm going to go with an open face cabinet, which will just have a cubby hole cut out of them, just like I'm going to go inside that way. It just keeps it simple, keeps it cost effective. You can fit an 11 by 11 cubby down in there, and it'll hold stuff in there. There'll be a little lip, creates a lip on the front so nothing can fall out. I got our back wall cut out. I used plywood. I happen to like the finish on this, and this piece is leftover from up here. So we're saving money there. It's got a cool pattern in it. I'm going to stain it up. Hope that shows up on the wood grain, guys. It's got some gray in it. That's why I chose that piece. I thought it was an interesting piece with a neat pattern. It'd be a cool back wall, kind of a centerpiece for the wall. It's almost a shame to cover the ends up with cabinets, huh? Get that wall set in place. That wood lined up amazing. I hope the camera picks it up. A little bit of gap down at this corner. We're going to seal with caulk, of course. Not worried about it too much. The other walls look great. I think it's going to be awesome once we get the cabinet in on each corner. You won't see that crack anyway, but there you are. A little bit of gray pattern in that. Plywood turned out beautiful with that dark stain on there. Next up, the cabinets. see, guys, I like to stick build a lot of my framing. Some people don't. I mean, you'd be fine just this 1/2 inch here, butt it up to this 1/2 inch here, some glue and some brad nails on the corner. Toenail it in there if you want to, gluing it down however you want, like they do cabinets. But we're gonna do it this way. Put a piece across here. I already cut these, obviously. Piece across here. I already marked them off. So we're square. We'll put the face on the side on the shelf. We'll put a couple of these in here for a shelf support. She'll be good and go. For our center shelf to divide these two cubbies. Now again, I'm doing cubbies. Y'all can do any kind of cabinet door you want. I like cubbies because they're open in the front. You can kind of see what's in there, what you put in there. Doors, sure, you can do that, but I like cubbies. You do what you like. Alright gang, let's get on to the sides and the fronts of these two cubbies. We know this is 14 deep by 14 wide. The fronts we are going to make 14 and a half. Our plywood we're using is 1/2 inch. So we want this lip to come out and cover our sidewall. You could 45 them using a router bit or even a belt sander if you wanted to, and glue them there on the corner. This is a rustic camper, we're not going to go through all that. Bring the front all the way out, cover the sidewall. Yeah, you'll have an edge here. If it bothers you, do it the other way. Let me get all 4 of these pieces cut out, laid out, and we'll go from there. Got these marked out. Two of them are 14.5, one's 14. They're all 26.5 tall. I got one more piece of scrap wood over there for the other front, or the other side of me, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut these out again. Cut them out with whatever tool you want to use. It's totally your preference. Got 3 out of the 4 cut out. I'm going to take them over to my belt sander and lay each edge down on it and true them up a little bit. They're all pretty straight. Pretty straight forward. Not too bad. You know the saying, caulk and paint will make you the carpenter you ain't, just like a grinder and paint will make you the welder you ain't. We got those bases covered. Just ask anybody in the comments. Got one cabinet in. You see she fits pretty square. I did take it over to the belt sander and laid them flat on the edges to clean the edge up. Pretty happy with how it fits. Remember, I don't have this all mounted securely or supported underneath. I just got some prop rods in place to keep it level. I did check it with the level before we measured this all out. We're gonna go ahead and cut a couple ovals out of the front here. Keep in mind we have that shelf going across there. Yeah, but you can see we'll put an outlet, 110 out, 120 outlet here. We'll put a USB probably here maybe, and we'll put a switch here for these lights. Keep those two accessible because most people are going to use their phone or laptop. They'll plug it in out here. If they're going to use a TV or a microwave, they want the plugs hidden back there. We'll keep all the electric here. I am going to run a 120 outlet under here and outside here because there will be an outside table there, and that'll kind of be your outside area. Most people will hang on that side. All right, let me get some holes marked out here. We'll use some kind of template laying around, sanding disc or something. Probably make them maybe 10 inches in diameter, oval, something like that, so we can fit a cubby in there. All right, we are back in the tail end of this camper. As you can see, I threw together one of the cubbies. Plenty big enough inside there. We will get some probably Velcro wire looms and staple them in the corners there to hold that wire out of the way. That's just a wire for your USB and your switch right there, which turns on your puck lights. There's your Bluetooth amplifier. It's wireless, plus you can plug it into whatever you want to do, depending on what phone connections you have. I used to do stereos in them, but the last 4 I built, the people, I sent out a survey and they said they never even used the stereo. So we're just going to go with a Bluetooth amp, and if you've got music on your phone or listen to a game or something, there you go. Got this one started, just mocked up in there. She's not permanent. I'm going to tear her back out and stain her. As you can see, it doesn't take much framework. Keep the weight down if you're worried about it. You could frame it all in. You could not use framework and just use the 1/2 inch and glue and nail it together if you wanted to. These are all glued and Brad nailed in place when they're finished. Let me get that sidewall out, and I'm going to get this front cubby cut out. It's going to have one upright oval and then one sideways oval just like that side. So I don't think you need to watch it. You've seen me do it before. I'll just cut it out and come back when I got her in place. Hey, pay attention. Got that one in. You can see she's just mocked up and not bolted in or anything, not nailed or screwed or glued. We did get the shelf in there. Lighting kind of stinks, but there she is. There's some supports. Again, that's just some scrap wood left over from the interior and back wall build. I'm going to get that one stained up, guys, and glued and screwed. And then I'm going to move on to this bottom. I probably won't film a lot of that. The front face is just going to be a couple cubbies like this. You've seen me do it here on this one. When I go to mount the AC unit, I will go ahead and do a video on that, a short clip, just to show that these are drainless units that I use, and you don't have to have a drain according to them. However, I do put a drain pan under them anyway with a small weep hole in the bottom of it. Also, the ducting going out the back can get a little tricky. I'll go ahead and video that part of it, and then the back panel is ready to go on. There's the last upper cubby in. You can see the bottom one's a little taller. In case you got, you know, wine or whiskey or whatever you got you want to stuff in there. That's what she looks like up top. Might give her a coat of satin clear to protect that stain. Other than that, onto the wiring and down there. Like I said before, I'm probably not going to film the front wall. Y'all seen me do cubbies. Alright guys, as you can see, there she is. She's got the outside on her, all except for that bottom panel right there. We are going to get into that in the next episode, just because I want to show y'all how I do my AC box and ducting. Remember, you have hot air coming out the rear of an AC unit, and then around the sides of that AC unit and top, you have a fresh air intake, as well as a exit on the front where the cold air comes out, and in recirculation mode, you have an area on the front where it recirculates your cabin air. So we have a couple partitions to build, a main wall to block it off, and then a couple rear partitions to separate that hot air coming out of the rear and from the air it sucks in on the side of its unit there. So there we go. As you could see in the video that I just showed you, the walk around, there's the door temporarily with the lights on it. Ho ho ho! Special delivery right before Christmas, guys. We got our aluminum skin in, powder coated red. We also got our aluminum corner molding in. Our flat stock in for the roof. And we scored some 2x2 aluminized steel 1/8 inch wall square tubing sticks. We're going to use that on our next teardrop build and see how light we can make that baby. Yeah. Got my aluminum trim from Furniture Lady 10 on eBay, of course. Got my aluminum skin from Mike's Speed Shop, One Stop Speed Shop in Toledo, Ohio. Check them out. And there she is. This is the Friday before Christmas. This video will drop tomorrow, Saturday morning. I hope you guys have a awesome Christmas and you get everything you wish for. We will talk to you soon. Merry Christmas, guys.